Revenue Recognition Principle by Taylor Horrell. So the big question is, what is the revenue recognition principle? So the revenue recognition principle comes under the accrual accounting. It is the accounting period in which revenues and expenses are recognized. It follows the old principle of don't count your chickens until they hatch. It is focused on recording revenue when it is earned, not when it is just received. The process of the revenue recognition principle follows the detailed and complex regulations of the generally accepted accounting principles. This makes the revenue one of the most important measures in assessing a company's performance and prospects by investors. So to break it down, the revenue recognition principle is broken into accrued revenue and deferred revenue. But it's okay, don't freak out. We'll now figure out how to differentiate between them. Accrued revenue is defined as the revenue that has been incurred but not yet received. For example, John is hired by Sally to be the photographer at her wedding next week. Since John provides a service of being the wedding photographer before he receives the payment, we can therefore successfully conclude this is an accrued revenue. To first record the revenue earned, we would debit accounts receivable for $350 and credit service revenue. Then, to record the cash that we have received, we would debit cash for $350 and credit accounts receivable for $350. Successfully showing an adjusted journal entry. Deferred revenue is defined as when you receive cash before providing the good or service. If Sally pays John to park her car for the next week and the payment is given in advance, this is considered as a deferred revenue. John now has a liability. The liability comes from the fact that John has been paid before providing the service. Since the service is provided after the payment, we can therefore successfully conclude that this is a deferred revenue. In order to record the cash which has been earned for the future payment, we would debit cash for $75 and credit the unearned service revenue for $75. Then, to record the revenue we have earned, we would debit unearned revenue for $75 and credit service revenue for $75. This successfully shows an adjusted journal entry. Therefore, we can conclude that the revenue recognition principle is a part of adjusting entries. Accrued revenue is cash after service and deferred revenue is cash before service, and it is structured under the GAAP. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.